both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Thursday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another educational Thursday. Tonight, we are talking about income protection. We got two phenomenal guests who's been here before. You all seen them here before. We'll be bringing them up. Miss Cynthia and Shaw, they're going to be talking about this income protection right now with all what's going on financially. When we look at inflation, we look at what's going on across the country. People are being impacted with income. So tonight's presentation is something very useful for our community to learn ways to protect your assets and your money. So this is going to be a great presentation. Looking forward to that. With that being said, it's been another violent week here across the Bay Area, across this country. The number of gun violence and violence in our community has increased. Last night, we had another person in San Francisco who was murdered. Across the Bay Area, there's been a number of homicides that's taken place. Again, we have to work together, community. We're going to have to organize. We're going to have to find out some solutions and some ways that we can end this violence. It's just sad to see our young males and young females of the community being impacted by this violence. So a lot of work to do. Community organizations, community leaders are coming together, trying to find out solutions. How do we impact the community? How do we put a stop to this violence in our community? We know mental health is real. You look around what's going on and you see a number of issues that's impacting our community with mental health. And we got some phenomenal events that we're going to be a part of this weekend that we're going to talk about healing and different things of that nature. So excited about that. So many things are happening. Again, we have a lot of programming changes, things that's going to be happening here at both sides of the conversation. We have some co-hosts that's going to be coming on to support us. We have some phenomenal things that's going on in the community to impact the community this weekend. We're going to have a financial literacy workshop, and it's going to be powerful, impactful to our community. As you all know, here at both sides of the conversation, our goal is to be intentional and make sure that we bring the information, the awareness, and education to our community to uplift our community so that we can bring economical power, we can bring the healing, we can bring the things that we need in our community. And it starts with programs and segments like this. And this weekend, we're going to do a financial workshop to impact our youth, impact some of the folks of the community so that we can help prepare them so they understand what does it take to leave generational wealth, how to build wealth, how to get out of debt, how to sustain their financial lifestyle. So it's going to be a great event. We got many more events coming out as well. We got a number of partner events that's going to be coming out that we're going to be impacting the community as we continue to work on having these conversations, bringing community together, and trying to solve some of the issues that so much impacts our community every day. So just excited. Stay tuned for what's going on. You're going to see some amazing stuff that we're doing. We have some phenomenal folks working behind the scene, grinding for the community, making sure that our community is impacted. And we are excited to launch this stuff that we're going to be doing here in the future. So stay tuned, stay committed, stay a part of what we're doing. And you're going to see some of the things that we're going to be doing to help impact our community, bring some of the conversations and some of the healing to our community. We got some phenomenal conversations that's going to be coming up. We're going to be talking about relationships. We know that's a hot, sticky, and juicy conversation that everybody would like to talk about. We got some other things that we're going to be talking about in Mental Health Awareness Month coming up. We're going to have our Mother's Day conversation, our Father's Day conversation. We have Juneteenth. We have a number of things that's going to be coming up. So we're excited about what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be impacting community. With that being said, I want to jump through some of the community announcements, some of the stuff that's going on, and then we'll get into tonight's segment of income protection. With that being said, one of the Black male educators from Ohio was named the 2022 National Teacher of the Year. This brother named Kurt Russell. This is phenomenal. Always great to hear Black men in the community doing stuff. Our educators, a lot of times community saying, where's the Black males at? Here's a phenomenal brother. And again, National Teacher of the Year. He's doing some phenomenal stuff. He was on CBS morning yesterday or today it was. And, just talking about his students and how he's impacting his community. 25 years of service. So it's just cool to see more of that happening in our community. And we need more Black folks who look like us to represent the teachers in our school district, as well as having those role models as teachers in our classroom. So just phenomenal to see the things that's taking place. Also, yesterday was 420. As you all know, people were on Hippie Hill all across the Bay Area, enjoying themselves. But with that being said, there's always a political part of 420 that folks sometimes forget about. I know everybody talk about what's going on with the events and folks around and celebrating 420, but it's also a day for legal push and folks positioning to get folks out of jail who's been impacted, incarcerated behind marijuana. As you all know, there are a number of states who have legalized marijuana cannabis in those states. And there are still folks across this country who have been impacted, incarcerated for many years for catching convictions of cannabis. So again, the fights continue. One of the prisoners that they're talking about that they've been campaigning, there's been a push going on to push President Biden and Kamala Harris to talk about some of the things that they're talking about on a campaign trail, helping those folks who've been impacted by cannabis. So on 420, there was a number of supporters and folks that went out and talked to these folks at the White House to make sure that they don't forget about the promises they made of legalizing marijuana on a federal level. So these folks, like this brother, Ramon Montero, who's been doing almost a life sentence, 25 years behind bars for marijuana possession charge. He is almost 62 years old. There's about 2,700 inmates across the country that are serving more than 10 to 12 years for marijuana-related charges. So we want to make sure that we get those folks out. It is sad to say we have businesses here in the Bay Area, businesses across the United States who are making millions and millions of dollars on cannabis right now, legal cannabis. And we have folks who had the same amounts that these businesses had and are facing these type of stringent sentencing. So hopefully, as folks start rallying, coming together, talking to their elected officials, hopefully before the year ends or before this term of presidency ends, they could get those laws in place to get those folks out of jail who've been charged with marijuana. So a lot of work to do. Again, we talk about solidarity. These are the kind of things. It's unfair that corporations are making $1 billion off the same thing that some of these folks have been incarcerated with. This affects families. This is generational stuff. So again, we got to keep fighting for those folks behind the walls as well. We don't want to forget about them. Also, federal sentencing for Ahmaud Arbery killers is happening. They delayed the case till August 8th. They're going to come back to court on that date. So again, for that family, I know that's frustrating to have to push that off for a couple more months, but the date will be August 8th. And it's funny, August 8th is Barack Obama's birthday, but they're going to be going into the court date to find out their sentencing and some of the things that's happening. So unfortunately that family has to wait. But again, it is happening August 8th, and we'll keep you all updated on what's going on with that. With that being said, we're going to jump into our community announcements and let everybody know what's going on around the community. And then we'll jump into tonight's segment. Starting off with our first one, the San Francisco Brown Bombers is doing signups right now. It is still ongoing. This is a youth football club here in San Francisco, the SF Bombers. Right now, it's only $100 to sign your young folks up. If you have young nieces, young nephews, they have a cheer camp. They also have football for our young folks. So if you know any young folks that would like to be a part of the Brown Bombers, phenomenal organization, great leadership. They are also not only playing football, they are educating our young folks how to deal with anger management, keeping them focused on schools. The president is doing some phenomenal jobs with community building. So just excited to see what the Brown Bomber season looks like. So if you have any young folks, the information is on the screen. Reach out to them, sign your young folks up, give our young folks something to do so that they're not out wandering around all summer looking for things to get into. Also, we have a career resource fair that's happening this Saturday, April the 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Civic Center Plaza, 355 McAllister Street in San Francisco. Bring your resumes, okay? Put on a suit and tie. Like, come job ready. There's some folks out there that might hire you on the spot. But again, if you're looking for an opportunity for a job, come dressed to impress. Bring your resume. Be ready to ask questions. You might get a job right there on the spot. So again, this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Civic Center Plaza, if that's where you want to look for a job and job openings, is going to be happening there. Also this weekend, the Healing for Rafiki Coalition is taking place with Dr. Joy DeGree. We're going to be there. This is a 2-day event happening Saturday and Sunday. They are giving $150 stipends for folks who sign up. Please sign up on their Eventbrite if there's space still available. And we'll get that information up on the screen. With that being said, very important. She's going to be talking about trauma. She's going to be talking about healing. She's going to be talking about some of the things that take place in our community that we really need to have conversation about. She's a phenomenal sister. Looking forward to that conversation. And we'll be out there. I'll be streaming live. You guys will catch some of the footage and see some of the things that's going on in the place throughout the day. Also, the San Francisco Clean Slate Program Expungement Clinic is happening on April 26th, 12 to 2 p.m., 564 6th Street. Go down there, brothers, sisters of the community. If you caught a charge, you've been 10 years and you forgot, you don't know if it's on your record, take this opportunity, go down to the clinic, make sure that these felonies or misdemeanors, whatever is on your record, you make sure that you get it off. And don't be embarrassed. Go down there and get that off your record so that you can go ahead and do the things that you need to do. Sometimes those little inquiries will impact us with employment, housing, different opportunities. So if you've been away from the criminal system, you haven't reoffended, please go down there. Let these folks help you for free. Get these felonies, get these negative things off your record. It's a great event. Please go down there and get supported. Again, April 26th, 12 to 2 p.m. Also, the STEM Frenzy event. Oh, I love this event. It's going to be happening. We're going to be out there, both sides of the conversation. As you all know, we're about educating, making sure that our young folks get into STEM. Our sister Dahlia Fitzpatrick and a number of those folks are doing the STEM Frenzy. It's a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That is happening April 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be at the City College. Please bring your young folks, sign up. The information's on the screen. We want to make sure that they are there and get that information, and we'll get it out. It is info@stemfrenzy.org. We'll get it up. Again, we have to get our young folks into the STEM arena. This is the wave of the future. We want to make sure that our young people get the mathematics, get the technology. Our young women get into science and engineering. That is the future. We need more of our community folks involved with that. Also, we have a community listening center that's happening. This session is going to be happening for the San Francisco African American Culture District. That's going to be held May 3rd through the 17th, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. All participants will receive a $25 gift card. The information, who to contact, is on the screen. That's the phone number you want to reach out to. Again, the African American Culture District is trying to find out from community a number of information, how they can impact the community, things that they would like to see. When we talk about the arts, when we talk about historic stuff, when we talk about history, we don't want to just enjoy our history and talk about it on Black History Month. We want to make sure that we are continuing to get history about our culture all year round. So if you would like to see that as well, this is the type of event you want to be at, so you can put your thoughts and your information in there so they know what we need in our community. Also, Alonzo King Lines Ballot is happening. Hartwood Lines, they're looking for community program interns. Deadline is June 1st. So if you're looking, or you have some young folks who are looking for internship, this is where you want to go and get this information. It is at the community line ballot. We'll get that up on the screen as well in our social media handles and get it out to community. A lot of community involvement this summer. There's a lot of opportunities for our young people, a lot of internships, and we're going to be posting that information out on all of our social media handles. So please go and check out our Facebook page, our Instagram, because that's where the information will be there for you. Also, the SF Rebels, they are doing the STEM summer camp. It's going to be various sessions happening. Our brother Nate Ford is going to be doing that. June 6th to July 22nd at Gateway High School. Phenomenal event. Things are going to be going on. More details to come. But please reach out to SF Rebels 1990 at Gmail. Our great brother Nate Ford is leading that charge. Another opportunity for our young folks to be doing stuff in the community. Also, the Marsh Youth Theater presents Voices of Youth. That's happening Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. through June 12th. All San Francisco residents will receive a $250 stipend. Again, please get our young people involved. Reach out to Rebecca. That's the email information on the screen. We'll be getting the flyer out to community as well. There's a number of opportunities for our young folks this summer as they are getting close to ending the school year for them to be involved with things in the community. With that being said, we're going to jump into our community, both sides of the conversation announcements, and then we'll get into tonight's show. Just so everybody know, both sides of the conversation, we are still looking for volunteers to help do the things that we're doing. If that is you, you're looking to volunteer, you want to get involved, you want to give back, you want to help, you like, I want to do something. We have some opportunities. We can utilize you and use your skill sets to help bless and impact our community. So if you would like to find out more volunteer opportunities, please go to our website, www.bsotc.org, and check us out, and we'll find out how we can put you in a place where you can impact community as well. Also, we are still looking for support all year long. If that is you and you like to support both sides of the conversation, sign up for your Amazon Smile. Okay, every time you purchase something on Amazon, if you choose both sides of the conversation as one of your charitable organizations, a small percentage of that sale will go to both sides of the conversation. No extra charge to you. Every time you purchase something on Amazon, both sides of the conversation will get a donation from them. So thanks to all of the folks who've been buying stuff and chose us as a charitable organization. We appreciate that support and help. It is much duly respected and honored, and we thank you all, community. With that being said, enough of me. I've said enough. Y'all heard my voice too long. It is time to get into the event that you all have been waiting to see. Our phenomenal Cynthia and Shaw. We're going to bring them up. Cynthia, Shaw, welcome back to both sides of the conversation. Looking forward for tonight's presentation. Turn it over to you all. I'm shutting up now. Go ahead.
Thank you, John. Good to be here, and just glad to share our information.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Johnny. It's always a pleasure to be here and just see so much that's going on in the community. And I really appreciate everything that you're doing and just getting the word out there, getting the knowledge out there of the opportunities. There's so many opportunities that people don't know about. And we need more people like you going out there in the communities. That's why we're here, and we're more than happy to support you in any way we can. So thank you for having us on again.
No problem. Love y'all.
All right. And you can go ahead and pull everything up for us, and we'll get rocking.
All right. There you go.
Cool. All right. So there we are. That's us. Take a screenshot. We'll throw it back up later. But hey, again, my name is Sean Johnson. I'm happy to be here. And we're going to go ahead and turn the floor over to Miss Cynthia Yanakone.
Yes. Hi, I'm Cynthia, and I'm glad to be here too. Just want to share a little bit about why, who I am and why I do what I do. So back in 2018, my dad passed away. And there's my dad, Victor, who worked at Kaiser for 46 stinky years, as he would say. And, he's a hard worker. And he, unfortunately, when he passed, he didn't have a living trust in place. he didn't have life insurance. My mom lost his pension plan, and she had lost already her 401k. So some of the conversations I had with my dad were about money, but they were really difficult, and I just didn't want to talk about it. And through this experience, my dad has been my inspiration. He's around. I know now what I know because this is what he wanted to know all the time, and no one sat down and talked to him. And that's why I do what I do, and I'm so inspired about being able to share this because it's important information. And here I am with my dad. I, made it really important to be with my dad and surprise him on his birthdays at the senior center he used to go to. And I had to work, but I would always figure out a way to go there. And, with my sister and my mom, because he valued family just as much as I do. So we're, together. And I think that's what matters so much too, being with our family, what my dad teach me. And here I am with all my other family, right? As a Latina Peruvian and stuff, family is big for us. And one of the things that I've discovered is for my kids. And there goes me and my sister. So obviously I've helped my family. I help my kids. It's something on a continuum within financial literacy and financial education that is just so important. And I feel like, I can't do it alone. And so I'm so glad that I have Sean and other people like Lisa and Sandy and Terrence and Zach and so many people that, are part of my team to help me go and grow as well as I help others go and grow and really find out what's important. I just bought out my house. I was just on both sides of the conversation this last Sunday talking about Nightmare on Keith Street. But again, it goes back to creating generational wealth and my vision to break the cycle of poverty and create generational wealth for the Black and brown communities. And it all begins with you, with us. So that's kind of where I'm at. Take it, Sean.
Right on. Thanks, Cynthia. I always love hearing that story and just you having so much centered around family. And that's what makes it, right? Family is everything. Family is everything for me. And when we talk about family, it doesn't necessarily mean our blood family, the ones that look exactly like us, but the ones that we've chosen, right? Like my sister Cynthia here, like, hey, that's my sister, period. And it's so great to be able to be in a business where we're able to give back and we're able to spread that knowledge that is so essential, especially when it comes to finances. And for me, that right there, that's my family's cabin in Tahoe. And that means so much to me. It's not a big fancy place, but you know what? It's ours. And it's ours, and it's always going to be in my family forever because my grandparents had the insight and the thought to, hey, let me get something that can be a family little getaway. And day before I started high school, my grandfather passed away. And I remember thinking, well, shoot. And I asked my dad actually, say, hey, what's going to happen to the cabin? And he said, oh, don't worry. Gramps had something in place. So the cabin was paid for if anything ever happened to him. And I went on away about my business as a special little high schooler, right? And didn't really think anything else of it. But now I'm fast forward, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, Nana and Gramps had life insurance. They had plans in place. They had the will. They had the trust so that when their time came to go home, guess what? The family still had some assets. They had something that's going to be part of the family. And because they did that, when COVID hit, my cousins they were my bubble. And excuse me, because we grew up on opposite sides of the bay, we didn't get to see each other that much growing up, but we are so close right now. Those are my brothers and sisters. Like they're little children there. They call me uncle. They call my fiance auntie. And we had such a great time being able to go up there and just have that time together and have a safe place we could go to. You know, my lady and I, we still sheltered in place, but we got a different place to shelter in place. We have to change the environment a little bit. And now, hey, I've been blessed to have my son. And it's so cool to know that because it's something my grandparents did, there's a place that generations upon generations upon generations will be able to go to. And that's what we want to have. We want to have more families, especially in the Black and brown communities, out there and passing on these legacies, passing on this heritage that we can go to and call home as a family. But that all starts with knowledge. And especially today, I'm really honored to be here because this is Financial Literacy Month. So now is the time that we need to know, we need to dive into and look into the information that's out there. Guess what? It is for you. I know a lot of times that in our communities, we think, oh, that's not for us. That's, money doesn't grow on trees and all this stuff. But you know what? Financial literacy and financial success is for us. We deserve it. We've been working hard for it. we need to have that knowledge of what to do, how to set ourselves up for success, and to share that knowledge and pass it on and have the conversations that so many times we don't have when it comes to money, when it comes to investing and saving and all of those things. So we are truly blessed and honored to be here with y'all tonight. We promise we're going to bring some value. So I want y'all to think about something. What's your most valuable family asset? Now, I don't mean the classic car that you've got. I don't mean the cabin in Tahoe. But when it comes to what you personally bring to the table, what's the most valuable asset that you bring to your family? Is it you going through and fixing things around the house? Right? You're doing the repairs. You're Mr. Fix-It. The washer and dryer breaks. You can do it. They don't have to call a repairman. Is it the positive vibes and good energy? You're always happy. You just keep people in a good mood. Right? People come home from that work and the boss just beat them up all day long, and you lift them up. You make them feel good. Do you do the cooking and cleaning in the house? Are you the one that makes sure that, hey, everybody eats good and they don't have to worry about cleaning up the mess? Are you the one that goes behind your little siblings and has to clean up after them? Is it that you pay the bills? Are you the breadwinner in the household? You make sure that money comes in to keep the lights on, to keep the internet paid, so you can go out there and learn. You can watch your shows on TV. You can play your video games. Or is it you? You and everything that you bring. Are you the most valuable asset to your family? Write that down. Write that down and think about it. Because I know the first time somebody asked me this, I was thinking like, well, you know, I'm a cool person. Like I'm good to be around, and I help out doing a lot of different things around the house. I do stuff for my family and all that. They need to help out with something, move something, physically move when people move. I help out with that. But then think about it. We've all heard of the goose that laid the golden egg, right? Sure, we all heard that nursery rhyme. Well, think about this. What if instead of a goose, you had a toaster that was a $10,000 a month toaster? Every single month, the toaster, you put it down and popped out money, popped out $10,000 a month, right? Every single month without fail, it popped out $10,000. Let me ask you this. Now, we've all got our cell phones and everything, right? We've got protection on our cell phones. Would you protect that toaster? Would you get a warranty or some sort of insurance on that toaster to make sure that that thing gonna keep working, right? I needed to keep spitting out that money.
Yep.
The crazy part about that, you are that toaster. You are that toaster. Whether you bring in $100 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, you are that toaster that your family depends on for something. And I'm not saying all the other things that you bring to the table, your positive attitude, fixing things, helping out around the house and cooking and cleaning, all that's important. But the reality is, if we can't bring home that income, if we don't earn that income, how can we do anything else? I wouldn't be able to sit here right now if the bills hadn't been paid to keep the electricity on, to keep the internet on, to pay for the computers that we're using. All of this comes from our income. And that's why we want to talk about income protection today. Because so many people, they want to go through and they want to be successful and they want to retire and everything else, but they're not able to reach that level of success because they don't start at the bottom, at the baseline. When something funky happens in life, they end up pulling from their biggest account, which is usually that retirement account, or it's their savings account, which was supposed to be for other things. It was for your goals, for that new car, for the new house. But you can't do that. You can't keep saving for all those goals if you can't go to work and earn that income. So here's something else we want everybody to write down, the DIME method. This is how we determine what your income needs really are. So on your paper, you can write this from top to the bottom. Start off with the D, and the D is for debt. How much debt do we have? How much do we still owe on our car? How much do we owe on our credit cards? How much do we owe our neighbor because last month was a little bit tight? How much debt do we have? Next, write down your income. How much do you make on an annual basis? What income do you bring into your household? Then we're going to times that by 10. Well, why are we timesing it by 10? Well, I'll cover that in a second. But write down your income and times it by 10. Next is going to be your mortgage. Now, if you don't have a mortgage yet, I know you'll get there, but go and write down your rent. How much is your rent for a year? And if you do have that mortgage, congratulations. And if you're in California, big congratulations, because I know that takes extra work. But how much do you owe on your mortgage? How much is left to pay off that house? Write that down. Next, we can look at an education or emergency fund. If you have kids and something were to happen to you, how much of your kids' education would you want to fund? And if you don't have kids, how much of an emergency fund do you have? I know I've heard so many times, so you need to have at least 3 months worth of your income saved up. Then I heard 6 months. And now we've just gone through COVID, and prayerfully we're actually coming out of it. The masks are relaxing a little bit, but I'm hearing more stuff about it. But we're going to get through it. But gosh, it'd be real nice to be able to have a year's worth of our monthly needs saved up as an emergency fund. But I say at least a minimum of 6 months, because if something happens, hey, at least you can get by and it's not a financial emergency. And the next thing we look at is how much insurance do we already have? God forbid something happens to us. Do we have something in place to help cover us during those times? So write all those things down. But now there's got to be an asterisk on that insurance we have in place, because the insurance that you have may or may not take care of you if you're injured or sick. And we're going to talk about that. So this number here is your total income replacement need. Now, let me go back, and we said times your annual income by 10. Why did we say 10? Well, that's 10 years. We may not all be able to reach that goal right now, but think about it. If you were to pass away, how long do you think your family, your loved ones would need to recuperate, to get back on their feet if you're not there? Statistics say that, especially when the main breadwinner in the household passes away, it takes about 10 years before the family really gets back on their feet and everything's rocking like normal again. And for me personally, I just like being able to say, hey, yo, I left you 10 years worth of my income. If you can't figure it out after 10 years of my income and me being gone, I'm sorry. I think I did pretty good for you. So the goal is to get as close to that as possible. And when we go through and get that income replacement need, we're looking at a couple different ways to do it. And hey, we are talking about insurance here. And especially in Financial Literacy Month, the proper insurance, proper protection on yourself is truly the foundation of a properly structured financial portfolio. Think about this. We put insurance, we have insurance, we're forced to have insurance on everything in our lives. Our cars, our houses, our apartments, our cell phones. Shoot, you buy warranties on everything, right? Shoot, I had a storage unit I had to pay insurance on once. What's the one thing we're not forced to have insurance on? Us. Because when something happens to us, when we get sick, we get injured, or we pass away, it's not the responsibility of the government or somebody else. You know why your job offers you insurance or gives you insurance in some cases? Because if you pass away while you're working, they don't want to get sued. They're protecting themselves. That's why they give that to you. So there's a lot of different insurance products out there. But we want to talk to you today about something that's going to really protect you. And that's going to cover you in the short term as you're still building up all your assets. You haven't quite got to your goals yet, but you're still building things up. So if something happens, it's not a financial emergency. And we're going to talk about the term product, but something very, very different here, a term with living benefits. And we're going to talk about the old plans versus the new ones. Now, the old plans, that's what most people have or had, and they're group policies. It's just regular term, and you know what? 98% of the time, they don't pay out because they either only cover you while you're at work, or they're only for a certain amount of time. And people don't understand that, oh, I only had it for X amount of time. I only had it for 20, 30 years. And they go on and they tell their family forever that they had coverage, and they pass away at 90 years old and they find out the policy expired 40 years early. You got to understand what you have and how it works. This is really more of that death insurance. The new strategy here is real life insurance. The new policies, the new plans, they pay out over 75% of the time. And why is that? That's because they actually have living benefits. And with those living benefits, if you're diagnosed with a chronic, critical, or terminal illness, guess what? You get that money. You have the money to pay your medical bills. You have the money to pay the mortgage. You have the money to pay for the car. You have the money to continue funding your goals. You have the money to, hey, God willing, you heal up quickly. You have the money to go on vacation. There's no restrictions as to what you use the money for. If you have a qualifying circumstance, guess what? That money's yours. And it's all good. I was talking to John earlier before we started. And just last month alone, I submitted 3 claims for people that were taking advantage of these living benefits. One of them, unfortunately, they do have a terminal diagnosis. The other 2 are critical. One gentleman's in a coma, and we are still praying for him right now that he comes out of it. And the other gent, we're praying for him, stage 3 throat cancer. He can barely even talk on the phone to tell us what we need to do for him. But guess what? That's money that they're going to get so they can plan out and take care of whatever their needs are. It's not going to be a financial emergency for them and their families. They know they've got that protection. And with that, what does that really mean for them? It means they're able to rest easy and focus on healing. One of the main things that takes people out, especially healing from cancer and other sicknesses, is they're so stressed out that they're worried they got to get back to work. They don't have the time to let something sit and heal. When you know you have the financial stability, guess what? You can focus on healing and not have to worry about going back to work before you're ready. So old plan versus the new plan. New plans really being life insurance that advantage you, not just something for your family if you pass away. Now, how do these work? I just talked a little bit about it. Critical illness, heart attack, stroke, cancer, major organ transplant, up to 90% of that policy value, yours. Do whatever you need to with it. Chronic illness, if you need assistance with 2 out of the 6 daily activities of living, bathing, dressing, eating, toileting, transferring, getting up out of a chair, you lose your continence. I had another gent that he fell off a ladder and broke both his wrists. Guess what you can't do with 2 broken wrists? Much of anything. And he was real happy he got that plan, and he got it just so he had something alongside of the plan he got for his son. Terminal illness, hey, the doctors say, you know what, unfortunately, you've got less than 12 months to live. Up to 100% of that policy value is yours. You can do whatever you need to with it. Give the money to your family that they were going to get anyway. Go see them enjoy it. Go out on vacation, create those memories with them, spend some good times with them. Or pay off some medical bills, whatever you need, you can do it. And then again, hey, when life happens and we get called home, that death benefit is going to go 100% to our family. And the cool thing about that, it goes to them tax-free. They're getting 100% of that check. And then we can also put on there an optional disability benefit. So, hey, if you're not able to go to work for a little while, you can get up to $2,000 a month just to make sure, hey, I've got something else coming in on that disability plan. So really something to talk about, really something to think about to make sure we have that proper protection in place. I know myself, I took myself up well over $1 million. Don't tell my lady, I think she knows, but you know, we don't want her to accidentally have me slip down the stairs. But it's just a nice peace of mind to knowing that, hey, I can rest easy at night. If something happens to me, I know my family is going to be well protected, and it's not, again, going to be a financial emergency for them to continue moving on when processing the things that they need to. So I trust that brought you some value, everybody. I want to take this time now and pass it over to my business partner, my sister, Cynthia Yannicone. Cynthia, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Yes, definitely. I mean, what he's speaking about is so true. Like at the end of the day, I have my kids, and you know, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing and trying to help them understand as well. I don't want the financial impact to happen to him, right? To them. And but at the end of the day, like the other things that happen with the financial impact of illnesses, you know, this is really important to understand. Like, well, you know, I've shared about my dad, but before that, my dad had cancer and all these things that he had, right? And it wasn't, that's why he didn't pass away, but still there's an impact on it. And just in these like points, like, you know, heart attacks, like I just, you know, the cost of severe heart attacks, if you know, try to, most people, because of technology, perhaps will survive, and how much, you know, it would cost for that. That says $1 million, and in, you know, medical bills and things like that. And I just found out one of my colleagues, his partner, young, 54, just had a heart attack, and, you know, it's putting all a strain on the family, but, you know, just, it's so many things that happen, no? And then, like I mentioned, cancer, right? So 20% of cancer patients younger than 65 delay or refuse treatment due to high associated costs. And that's another thing. I mean, I have so many stories, like personal ones, like my friend. Luckily, she did survive, but it's like all these things that, people have experienced and stuff, and strokes and everything. And right now, I know this other example about Alzheimer's too, right? Is the most expensive problem right now in the United States, costing family society 157 billion to 215 billion a year. So it's just really much needed, this having this information and being to access and qualify, when we're all young and stuff, as well as young as we are today, right? So yeah. And most of the times, like we said, like my mom's actually obviously a widow, right? And she just everything, a lot of things. Luckily for her that she has us, right? My brothers and sisters and stuff. But sure, she would have been that 90% of being bankrupt if she didn't. And it's just a big impact on the family when illnesses, death, and anything happens, right? So it's really important to understand, to value ourselves, and so that's why it's really important. And the critical illness, right? The heart attack. So being critically ill means you'll be, diagnosed with a health condition such as a heart attack, stroke, cancer, and a renal stage. So how many people, I'm sure, like, know somebody that's experienced, and so it's really important to get this information and share it. And just really quick, to me, Eva always dreamed of owning her own business, small business. At the age of 40, she finally made it happen with the help of a loan of 250,000. That spurred her decision to purchase a Transcender LB 25-year term life policy for the same face as her loan, in case anything unexpected should happen to her. She couldn't believe the premium payments were under 45 per month. 8 years later, she suffered a serious heart attack. And in the side, you can see these are the numbers that are there, but what most stands out here is what she was able to be paid out, her cash out, so she could heal from that heart attack, was 134,552 at age 48. And I'm like, people don't think that the heart attacks happen actually for people younger than 50, more often than not. So the other one is the illness organ transplant. Meet Michael. He's, as a father of 2 young children and a successful executive, Michael wanted to make sure his children would be secure should something unexpected happen to him. He purchased a Translator 15-year term life in amount of $1 million. The premium payments were under 174 per month, and it was fit in his budget. 5 years later, Michael suffered a devastating fall while working on his house, and he needed a major organ transplant as a result. So some like these accidents, things happen. It's just, having this to help our kids, right, that are going to be here. So his payout was 615 and 79 dollars. So this is amounts that have been paid out. So that's why it's just really important when you have kids and you have these type of strategies and plans for yourself, for your family. And this is an example where you can see a 30-year-old Miss Jones, we just kind of call her Miss Jones, right? She got actually qualified for 30 preferred plus, and realizing how much it is, like for the 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, you see how affordable it can be on a monthly basis for 30 years. $30 and $30.10. And her $1 million, well, 500,000, sorry, is what is the face value for anything that would happen to her. That's really affordable in someone's budget, right? And understanding why it's important, like, to budget these type of products and stuff for yourself and your family. And this is actually an example of a check that was paid out. So that was 359,519 and 20 for someone, just as Sean was saying earlier, he's been doing this. So they're going to be receiving checks for X amount of money. But this is just to show you an example of what's really being paid out. And this was back in 2020 during the pandemic. And then one of the strategies that he talked about really quick was the IUL, and where it talks about perks, and when you have protection for your money and emergency funds, you can use it for retirement, as college fund, savings. And it's really important because most of the time, 80% of people save money in the bank. And I'm not sure if you know how much your percentage is in the bank, but usually it's less than 1%. And for these type of strategies, the investment could be up to 15% rate of return. And the insurance is 5%. And it's all, tax-free when you take it out. So this is something like, I have with my kids. And right now my daughter is going to be going to college. And one of the things like, just trying to strategize for her college and things. So that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to put more into that. So when, for her college, and to make it all work out at the end of the day and not have to pay school loans or school interest loans and things like that. So it's really important.
And think about this, y'all. How many of y'all have children? How many of y'all have children out there, and your children are dependent on you to make it, right? If it's not for your income, if you have a heart attack, you have a stroke, you get cancer, something happens to you, and you can't go out there and earn that income, what happens to your family? If you don't make it home one day because somebody special is texting while they're driving and they hit you. I don't want to be morbid, but think about, that's life, y'all. That's life. What happens if life happens to you? What will happen to your family? Do we have the proper plans in place to make sure we're protected, to make sure that our family is still good, no matter what? And I know John Henry was talking about the violence and everything happening. Like, do you know why that so many times that violence happens? If we have the knowledge, we have the financial knowledge, we have the stability that we need to have in our lives, do we need to go out there and do this foolishness? Do we need to do these things that we take risks and put our lives at risk and make poor decisions if we have the finances that we need to just be successful and enjoy our lives? So it all starts with having that proper financial plan. So please, everyone, we definitely urge you, we encourage you. We would absolutely love to sit down with you and talk with you about it. All right. Cynthia, why don't you hit these two real quick?
Sure. So, as I mentioned earlier in talking about cancer, I mean, it's just so prevalent. So 1 in 4 American cancer survivors said they struggle to pay medical bills. And again, cancer is something that's very common. I'm sure if we had to see a raise of hands of how many people, no one would have cancer, I'm sure everybody practically would raise their hand up. So, it's really important to get this type of insurance to help. And then, this is the other one, 75% of people over the age of 65 are going to need long-term care. So personally, with my mom, I'm going through that right now with my stepfather. Actually, my stepfather is why things are just so crazy. And he just actually broke his hip and he had to have surgery last week. And it's been a toll on our family. Luckily, he is in a rehab thing right now, but we're trying to all figure out his aftercare. And sometimes that's why it's so important, especially at the age that we are now, so that when you're older, you're not trying to look for long-term care when it's more expensive. So it's just, and we're living longer too. So that's why it's crucial to get this long-term care that's actually also set up within the strategies that we help people figure out for themselves, because everything's individual as well. So, yeah.
And we wanted to sprinkle that in because we're praying for Cynthia's stepfather. We're praying for my mom. She's been in and out of the hospital and still at a rehab facility now, back and forth since November.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the right plans in place, it can be absolutely devastating. Mm-hmm. People don't go broke because they don't have money. People go broke because of medical bills. Anybody ever looked at seen a medical bill from one trip to the ER with an ambulance? Just that ambulance trip and the treatment in the ER is usually $200,000 to $500,000. Just that one shot. Yeah. Do we have things in place so that we can be protected? We want to be there.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, and that whatever's what else is coming to my mind is of one friend about close to my age. She's in debt because of this, and I'm really helping her right now try to figure things out. But again, she had an illness. She was out, not working for 3 years. She used credit cards. So, at the end of the day, this is just so important.
So thank you, everyone. That's what we wanted to share with you tonight. We would love, please take a screenshot, email us, call us, whatever works. We would love to connect with you. And we're not going to charge you for our services. That's the way we're set up, right? We would love to talk with you. We need to have a conversation with as many people as possible. We want you to share the information. Do you know someone that needs to get their income protected? Do you know someone that needs to sit down and have a financial conversation and just, hey, you've gone to the doctor, get your health checked out? Have you checked out your wealth? When was the last time you did that financial health check? Please give us a call. Let's connect. Let's have that conversation. And let's just see where you're at, see what we could do to make sure you can be as good as you deserve to be. So thank you. That's our time. John Henry, back to you. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer them.
Thank you,
Now,
John.
every time y'all come on, I got some questions, but I know you guys got to get out of here. I know y'all got another event going on. We thank Sean and Cynthia for coming on, continuing to be pillars of our community, making sure that our community is intentionally educated, making sure that you all have resources. Sometimes in our community, folks just don't know how to connect, right? And they don't know how to get this information. So we always are humble and thankful that you all come on to make sure our community is aware, make sure our community has the knowledge, the information, and all of those things. So just appreciate you there. You guys covered a lot. I mean, my only thing tonight is, for community, take this serious. Y'all see the times we living in. Like Sean said, talk to your elders, talk to the folks that's, getting close to retire. Some of our young folks in the community, an accident can happen. Like Sean said, there's so many young folks, they driving around, they texting. You could be hit at any time, right? Tragedy is like right around the corner. We like one car ride, one walk out the front door, something happened that could take away the financial income power that we have in our household.
Jen Nakoma is only 32 years old that I mentioned.
Yeah, no, so it's very important. Things happen, and the other thing is, we don't never know what's going to happen. The pandemic has taught us things can happen at any given time. And again, in our community, a lot of times there's one person of that household that's bringing home the income. So you definitely want to make sure you have the right coverages, the right insurance, protect your young folks so that you have an opportunity to go on ahead and be able to make the money and do the things that you need to do. This is always great. I think this is why we do this, Sean, and for community, please reach out to them, set up an appointment, go through the assessment process, find out, the things that you need to know so that you can really be intentional and putting, your money and your things in the right place so that you can, be protected and you can have that longevity. Like Sean was saying, one incident could take away all the wealth that you worked 20, 30 years for. And we definitely don't want that happening. So we want y'all to just think about this information. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Talk to them, figure out how you can get in the right plane. And the right plan, and make sure that you protect your family. I mean, we have to be very intentional. When Sean talked about the insurance, the life insurance, all this violence happening in our community. It's too many GoFundMes, too many food raisers. We have to make sure that we're doing the right things. It hurts my heart to see families standing on the corner asking for donations to help bury their loved ones when we could be intentional. Like Sean said, we have cell phones. We have all these unnecessary things sometimes that we're paying for, subscription for Netflix. But when you get down to the core stuff, we don't have that. So we want to make sure we do it right. There's no excuse now. Tonight, you got the information. You have a contact. You have some folks who look like you. There's no reason not to reach out, to come talk to them. Find out. Let them get in there and help you so that you're doing the right things and making sure that you're protecting you and your family. We have to be responsible in our community. We have to make sure that we're doing the right things. And that's what we're going to continue to do here. Make sure we educate our community intentionally. Make sure y'all get the information and resource. So you can't lie anymore. You can't say, well, I didn't know this. No one told me. Both sides of the conversation has put this information out there. Cynthia and them have been back, I think, the 5th or 6th time in the last 2 years, committed. When you talk about folks in our community that's committed to work, committed to changing the narrative about money in our community, continuing to change the narrative about how we go about building our generational wealth and passing it on. You get it from the best. Sean and Cynthia, they always here. They always there for you. Please reach out to them and get that information. With that being said, before y'all go, I want to bring up our special guest to the community tonight and let her see if she have any questions or just introduce herself. I know you guys got to get out of here, but community, we've been telling y'all, we got some new folks coming on. I want to introduce you all to our new Both Sides of the Conversation co-host. Y'all going to see more of her. She's been sitting in the back scene, peeping out what's going on, laughing at me because they know I'm crazy. But, you know, I'm going to bring up Miss Tony Rochelle. Let her introduce herself to community. If you have any questions for the guests tonight, you can ask them. Or if you just want to introduce yourself, Tony, say hello to our community, our Both Sides of the Conversation community.
Hey everybody, welcome to Both Sides of the Conversation. I'm Tony Rochelle. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Sean, for all the information. You had me over here thinking and worrying all at the same time. And I definitely had a few questions, like, you know, that whole process of having to be exam and things like that. When you go through that process, and people that have like asthma or like, you know, chronic conditions, does that hinder you from getting, you know, these type of services?
Great question. And there were some companies, we work with a bunch of them, right? So it's not just one, but there were some companies that were playing with the idea of, hey, can we do this non-medical underwriting? And that's pretty cool, because some people, that whole stick in me, no, not having it. Don't want to do that whole medical exam thing. And thank you, COVID, for one thing. What's one thing? It's got pretty much every company, or at least the majority of the companies that we work with, doing and offering non-medical underwriting. So if your health history, if they can get enough info from your doctor and everything looks good enough, people are getting approved without an exam, without blood, without somebody coming out and see them and all of that. So that's really, really great. Now, another thing that's great for us is because we work with so many companies, if somebody does have a pre-existing condition, obviously depending on what it is, if it's something that's really critical and severe, yes, it could cause them to not be covered. But we've got so many companies out there that we work with. Most of the time, we can find a way for somebody. So as long as they have an open mind and they're willing to work with us, hey, if we have to try 4 or 5 companies, call them and talk to them and see what's going to work, we'll do whatever we can to make sure that people get that coverage that they need and deserve.
So what you saying to me is, don't be afraid. Just take a chance to see what you can get. That's what you're saying?
Right. Don't be afraid. And you know what? Do it now. Do it now. So many people like COVID. Oh, I got to get rid of this COVID weight. Yeah, me too. But guess what? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Right? We know we're never going to be younger than we are today. And most of us aren't going to be healthier than we are today. I know some people are going to get back in shape and all that, but do it now, because so many times, I want to get better. I want to be healthier. So this and that. Guess what? Take whatever you can get right now so that you have that protection, which then they can never take away from you. And then go out and get healthy. And guess what? After you're healthy, you can come back and say, hey, look, I'm healthy. I lost 50 pounds. Recheck me. And guess what? You can get a better rating then. But whatever you get locked in with, that's yours forever. They can't take it away. So do it now. Please, everybody, do it now. Don't wait. Don't think about it later, because we don't know what tomorrow is or if there's going to be a tomorrow.
But Sean, I got one more burning desire question. For, you know, we're still in the pandemic. So what if somebody said, I just don't have the money? Is money an issue? Like, how much money do I need to have to get in with y'all? Like, we ain't got no money right now. Gas is expensive. Food is expensive. Rent is expensive. So what would you tell somebody like that?
Especially in California, the city. I would tell them the same thing I told one of my best friends. And she was going through rough times. And said, I can't afford to really save right now. And I don't know, how can I get a whole bunch of coverage and everything? I can't afford it. I said, you know what? It's all good. I got you. I got her $250,000 in coverage for $12 a month.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good.
Like, how many of us have wasted $12 this week?
Yeah,
today?
that's Starbucks money.
Exactly. But there's a will, there's a way. And you'll strategize
there's
somehow how much you value your life. And, I don't know if Sean kind of said, but, we'll find something that fits your budget too. So that's kind of, we look around for that too. My son started, well, and Sean helped with that. So I'm just saying, like, it's affordable. You just got to look at it that way. Maybe you don't go eat fast food for a couple times, or who knows, right? Or go eat out in general. You'll figure out a way if you see value in it and stuff. Your life.
Well, y'all giving them way too many breaks. I don't want to hear the excuses anymore, okay? I see people, when I do these financial assessments, they pay for all of these gym memberships, all of these personal trainers, all these Netflix subscriptions. You have money in there in your budget, and we got to be smarter. I watch the folks who go to the nail shop. I watch these people buy $500-$800 wigs, and I watch purses. And I
all right, watch yourself now, John. Watch yourself. Don't talk about the wigs now. We need the wigs. Okay.
Again, all I'm trying to make the point is, if there's a will, there's a way. And like Sean, I'm talking about putting an emergency budget together. We're going to talk about that this weekend, about getting out of debt and setting up our budget. We just want to make sure that insurance is a part of your budget. There's too many things that we see that people are using discretionary funds for, that they could be putting up. We want that to be a priority because, again, if something happens, the fastest way to passing generational wealth is through insurance and making sure that your loved ones keep those assets in place. Estate planning. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff, but this is why you got to come and get this information, community. Great information, and we're going to keep pushing it forward. But there's a way. Tony, I'm not letting them off the hook. If they could get French manicures and pedicures, they got money for insurance, Tony.
You overdoing it now. You overdoing it with them nails now.
And instead of getting the what was it? Instead of getting the deluxe pedicure, just get the regular one.
Right.
Do that twice a month. You saved enough to get a term.
Man, exactly. Well, we're not going to hold you up, Cynthia. I know y'all have another call. Community. We also know our Warriors is playing tonight, so I know folks are trying to get out and watch the game and have a good time. There's a number of meetings going on. Redistricting is still happening. And again, we are going to be here consistently. We have some amazing things coming up. Want to thank Sean and Cynthia again for coming on, giving our community the sauce, the information, all of the things that you need. Please follow Miss Tony, her Instagram. She goes by Pretty Tony. Y'all go follow her. Y'all go check her out. She's going to be on here with both sides of the conversation. She is going to be a host that's going to give a different perspective. She has a phenomenal story, very passionate about community. Also, a phenomenal artist doing her thing in the community. So again, we just privileged to have her here. Happy to be working on side with her and just seeing her energy for community. Can't wait to continue these conversations. More and more things are going to be happening here at both sides of the conversation. So we excited. More conversations, more things happening. We're going to be a part of it. We're going to be the transcenders. We're going to be the one leading the pack. We're going to be doing the cutting edge, innovative things to impact our community through this platform and through the work that we do in our communities. So looking forward to you all joining on part of what we're doing and making sure that everything works. But with that being said, we're going to let you guys get out. Go watch the Warriors. Go Warriors. We need another win. And then again, we'll be getting ready this Saturday and Sunday. Y'all see us live. We will not be having a live conversation, but we will be at Rafiki Coalition listening to Dr. Joy and the amazing stuff that's going on. We'll be live. And then next week, we'll be following up with another Hidden Gem segment, Educational Thursdays, and we're going to be planning because we got some amazing Sunday conversations that's going to be coming up to impact community. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Miss Tony, anything you want to say? Cynthia, before you all leave, any last words? You got to say it now before we get out of here.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Cynthia.
Yeah, and happy Financial Literacy Month.
Yes.
Welcome, Tony. Great to be working alongside you. And hey, y'all take advantage of everything that's out there. Hey, people, like John said, hey, no excuses. No excuses. You got people. Heck, you don't want to call us? Call John. Call somebody and talk to them. Take that action, all right? I appreciate y'all.
That's right, community. Be about that action. So with that being said, we'll see you all. Have a blessed evening. Be safe out there. We know things are still happening in our community. Please go and check us out. Check out our website. Check out our social media handles. See what's going on. Go on our YouTube. Like, subscribe. We want to see what's going on. Every time we're live out in the community, the things that we're doing, we'll be posting them up. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all for our next live programming. Have a blessed day and stay positive and do the things that you need to do out there, community. Love you. Get your money right. Get your money right.